characteristics?
It does. The track looks great, first off. The pavement looks great. It's smooth. You still have those little bit of bump characteristics. The uphill down the back, the downhill down the front. You can still kind of notice all that. It's still Wilkesboro. Obviously, I love the old pavement because I'm a dirt racer too, and I like low grit racing, but I also like high grit racing. So it's definitely going to be a different type of race than we had the last two times we were here. But I think the track, it's still got character, but it looks great. I mean, and for the track to thrive, we understand it had to have the pavement, and it's going to only boost the status of this place moving forward and keep it around for a long time to come. I think it's kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulder. I finally get an opportunity. Went through a spell, like everybody knows my story, how I was working at the Port of Virginia moving boxes from the container ships, and kind of was getting ready to be done racing late models full time, and kind of did a 180 and went back racing and signed with Lee. And last year winning this race, like I said, kind of changed the direction of a lot of things for me. And still at that time, like, never knew if I was going to get a shot at anything out of a late model. Always dreamed of it, but to finally have it kind of coming my way, and it's a lot of hard work got us there, and I don't ever forget where I came from, and it just makes those memories last year even more special because, like, at the time we're having a blast and we're performing, but we didn't know what was going to happen from it, and it's just kind of surreal to see it all taking place. I don't know for sure exactly off of this win, but this was a big part of it. This is probably a win that propulsed my Waffle House celebration. We've been able to sell a lot of merch with the Waffle House slogan on it for us, and then it kind of just gave me that image and got the Butterbean brand out there. Obviously Dale talking about us on the download and stuff like that, and then the people that didn't know us at the time started to kind of tune in, and we started winning a lot of races. And my truck deal came together the week after I won the Thanksgiving Classic, but it all kind of started here and ended at the end of the year. So I would say this is what really propelled it.
Notice something like that? It's certainly got a bunch of grip, but if you walk it and really start looking, there's still a lot of characteristics in this place. I mean, there's a big bump in turns 1 and 2, almost entry to 1, that a lot of guys are trying to drive around. You can tell a lot of guys are trying to miss that. And then there's a big patch in 3 and 4 where there's almost a grippy area down there that they had to repave or go back over. So there's a lot of little nuances about this track. It's not a ice smooth glassy repave, and I kind of like that it's like this still. Makes you have to drive around areas still and drive around those bumps. Typically when they repave tracks, it's just got a bunch of grip, it's fast, and you just run the bottom. This one's very unique still, I think. So I think they, honestly, I like the little areas that they almost like messed up per se, because it still gives the track some characteristic. Your thoughts about everything that's happened? Yeah, this was quite the experience coming to North Wilkesboro for the first time. I mean, I've never even been to this racetrack before. I've watched some old films and old clips. It would have been so cool, I think, to come back and run the old pavement before they repaved it. But I'm excited to see all the change come to this racetrack and see everything that they're doing to revive these old tracks. So our first session wasn't too bad. We were struggling with our motor a little bit. We had some stuff going on there. But what a unique racetrack to just drive on and make laps on. I came here and walked it before we got on the track, and wow, the elevation is what's really impressive to me. It goes downhill into turn 1 and then back uphill. There's not many racetracks like that on the schedule where they have very unique corners in that sense. So I thought the first session went okay. We've got a couple more here today. It's just about getting laps here. I am going to come back and run the race here in a couple weeks, so I am really excited about that. And honestly, just trying to get more racecraft and race experience. I know I've been driving now for a long time in the NASCAR circuit, but it's little things like this of how can we continue to improve and gain experience and build on our craft, and it's tough in the NASCAR side because you show up, you have 20 minutes of practice, you qualify, and then you race, so all these little things like restarts and passes and things like that, you don't have a lot of time to work on that stuff. So utilizing the late model tool here, I used to work with Lee McCall in 2012 actually, so it's been 12 years or so now that me and Lee have worked together, so kind of a little bit of a reunion to get back with Lee as well. It's been kind of fun. It's here. Man, I feel like it's going to be a big weekend again. I feel like people love to come back to these old racetracks, watch short track racing. I mean, that's what we all grew up doing. I feel like that's what the sport's built off, is short track racing, you know, so it's fun to come back to these style of tracks.
Yeah, I've raced the past 2 years in late models on the old asphalt, and this year by far it has so much more grip, and the fall off isn't going to be much, so it's going to be hard to pass. Qualifying is going to be important, so it'll be different for sure from what it used to be, but I'm looking forward to it. Yeah, I think a little bit. You know, the last 2 years I raced it in a Super, and I was able to win the first year and go up on the elevator ride, which was pretty cool. And yeah, I think just with all the history this place has, and bringing the All-Star race here and bringing a lot of the NASCAR trucks back and the Cup cars, it makes it really cool. Yeah, I think obviously you saw last year the All-Star race, the late model race, the fans showed up and filled this place out. So fans are great around here, and you know, hopefully we can get another packed crowd for our race.
Yeah, I would wholeheartedly agree there. There's a lot of character in this racetrack. There always has been. A lot of people were worried about how the racing product would be with the new asphalt on the racetrack, and I get that. I'm definitely a purist when it comes to old asphalt, but after going and making 30 laps a day, that's all it took to realize that this place has a ton of character. Even though it's a lot faster now, it shoots you out of the hole, it feels like. When you're coming off of turn 4 and going downhill down into turn 1, that same Wilkesboro field that's been here for the last 2 years, I still get goosebumps talking about it now, is still there, still very, very apparent. And a lot of characteristics. It's going to take a very good race car to win this race, obviously. But yeah, all the characteristics are there. It has that feel to it. A little bit faster now, and maybe not wear tires as bad. But other than that, it's a beautiful surface. I can't wait to race on it.
Yeah, I think today we had a pretty good dual test here. I mean, it's good for all the guys to get out here and be able to make some laps in this place ever since they repaved it. I think we all got to learn a little bit about the tire and how it's going to react during the race. Yeah, I feel like the speed's definitely up from whenever they had the old pavement. I believe it's about a second or so for us, maybe a little faster, and it definitely changes things a little bit. You're just going a little faster, have a little more grip, and I think it's going to make the racing pretty good. I think we'll be able to run side by side all day. Yeah, I mean, the history of this place is just, it goes so far back, and I mean, there's so many great drivers that grew up racing here and raced here on their way up to the Cup Series and during the Cup Series. So to run here and for this place to come back really is just pretty awesome. And we're all looking forward to it and looking forward to be a part of history. Yeah, having our 2022 win here definitely builds some confidence and some excitement going into the race for the Student Motorsports team. We've done it before, we've won here, and I think we can definitely do it again. Just got to make sure our car is good, and we'll see. Yeah, the fans of this place are just diehard for sure. I mean, all the years of this place being closed down seemed to build up some excitement, I guess, for everybody. And I remember the first time we were here in 2022, and even 2023, the crowd was amazing, and there's so many people that showed up, and I think it's going to be even better for this year.